the thing I enjoy the absolute most about what I'm doing today is the people part.
Yep.
Like, I could see, like of all things that I would want to like give up and pass off to somebody else in this company, the stuff that I'm having you do, I actually enjoy the most, but I can't do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have help. Like, even if you enjoy it the most, like you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
You got to know when to like pass things on that even you maybe like doing. Because there's maybe other things that I don't enjoy as much, but are actually probably more important for me to be doing.
Yeah.
Like figuring out how to build a folder and develop and design more knives. Like that portion I really like as well.
Well, and you got to manage the people here. You got to manage the business side too.
Yeah. And I have 4 kids. I can't necessarily be on the road. I can't go do 40 shows in a year, or 20 shows in a year, or whatever, events per se. So, I have to be a family guy and be home for 6 more years,
Yeah.
But that portion of like, I think that portion of that feeling of a void or whatever, like that, I can definitely relate to that from the standpoint of that portion I really enjoy. And I can see how you could potentially replace like that drug addiction and the way it makes you feel with surrounding yourself and being involved with like really good people and experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
I when I was and I think it was one of the better jobs that you could have, but when I was a lineman, you had some camaraderie. I think it's somewhat as close as you can be to the military in the civilian side, as far as just going to a job. Cause like linemen are a really tight knit group. You give each other shit. You really do truly, your lives do depend on each other being competent and trusting what a guy can say and stuff. But like the going to a day job and punching a clock just at a desk, and for some giant corporation, as important as those jobs are, there's a certain people that need more like fulfillment from like feedback from other humans. You know?
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And it's funny. I got to see it again too. Like Yeti was such a big part of my life and it was so fulfilling for me on so many levels. And I left after 4 years to chase an opportunity that I thought was really cool, with a startup. And it kind of pulled me from that world and working remotely, building a new brand. We were trying to build, we were building a marketplace for hunting and fishing guides and outfitters for people to find them more easily. And kind of similar to like Airbnb, but with guides and outfitters instead. And different team dynamic, working remotely, kind of like definitely more in the fish space than the hunt space. Like that community aspect was definitely like pulled away from me. And I saw like, I did it for 8 months and I was like shocked how unhappy I was. And I think that the biggest part of that was that I didn't have that community around me. And it was like so much more, felt like I was on an island and kind of alone again. And I just didn't enjoy it. And so after 8 months, I was like, man, I'm just like, this is affecting like my overall happiness in life. And I'm like, it's not worth it to me. And so I stepped away from that and jumped back in. And, thankfully you guys were supportive and wanted to work together and a few other brands and back in it. And it feels good, man. Like I get a lot of satisfaction and fulfillment from this job because there's so much interaction with people.
Yeah.
I think community is the single most important thing for like happiness of humans. Like it's the foundation.